This week's in-class lesson is to help you with your thesis statement for your Of Mice and Men essay. So a thesis statement is just a fancy word for main idea. What is the main idea of your paper? You say it in your thesis statement. So a well-developed thesis actually helps you organize and develop your own analysis throughout the essay. As you develop your analysis, you should be looking back to your thesis to make sure your analysis supports the main point. So one more time, what is a thesis? Don't be intimidated by that word. Again, it's just a fancy way of saying main idea. So your main idea, your thesis is a sentence, which is a declaration or a statement that you're making that states the main idea of your essay. The thesis statement answers the prompt and provides information about what the rest of your essay will be about. This is where, having your thesis can be helpful for actually writing your paper, because as you're writing your body paragraphs, you're checking to make sure, is what I'm saying in my body paragraph reflecting what I'm trying to prove through my thesis statement. So how do you come up with a thesis? So first, I'll always remember, in most cases, you have an essay prompt. A prompt is a question being asked or a situation given to you to explain or analyze. Your answer to the prompt, that's your thesis. Again, I cannot say this enough. Your thesis is the main idea of your essay. It's the most important sentence in your entire essay, right? Because it outlines your argument for the essay. It explains what you'll be trying to prove in the body paragraphs and how you'll prove it. A strong thesis statement not only answers the questions of what, but also answers the questions of why and how. So this is an example from an essay I received that was written on a poem written by Adrienne Rich. So the what is highlighted in yellow. Adrienne Rich relates the severity of storms to the inner struggle with depression that many face in some point of their lives. So that's answering the prompt, right? How? She does this by implementing frightening metaphors, sullen diction, and vivid imagery. So probably this person's essay was going to deal with those three things in his body paragraphs. And why is the big idea? Why is it all so important? Ultimately, to teach the reader that although inner turmoil is a difficult thing to deal with, it is a natural part of life. That's a super well-developed thesis because, again, it brings out a really thoughtful main idea, and it also allowed this writer to really expand and push his analysis further and deeper to show his extremely deep comprehension of the poem. So how, what, why? It's a method to help you organize your main idea and help ensure you have a full body one. It can also be what, how, why. What, how, why is probably the easier way to go. How are the methods and devices used and or what you're going to explore in your essay? What is the answer to the prompt? And why is the overall significance? Here are a couple of examples of what, how, why structured thesis statements for this sample prompt for Of Mice and Men. So the prompt is discuss the importance of one minor character. So you could pick Slim, Candy, Crooks, Curly's wife, and what they represent, and or why Steinbeck incorporated them into the story. So you could, if we were to choose Slim, the what would be Slim plays a small but significant role in the story. Discuss the importance of one minor character and what they represent. So we say that he plays a small but significant role. That's answering the prompt. How do we see that? Right? Because of his compassion and understanding for Lenny and George. Why did Steinbeck incorporate Slim in the story? Right? To demonstrate the idea that someone's support or help through a tough time can be beneficial and even necessary. Another example. Candy plays a small but significant role in the story. Note how the what is the same for both of these characters. That's totally fine. The how is different, and Steinbeck includes his injury, his dog, and his eagerness to join the men in buying the ranch to illustrate the various difficulties and struggles of migrant workers and ranch life. So we have the answer to the prompt, we have the details that you're going to break down and analyze, and then you have how you're going to use these details to support what the bigger idea is. All right, so now you are going to do this, and you're going to use the sample prompt that I just provided and create a what, how, why thesis. You're going to fill out the Google form to do this, and then after you submit that, you are all done.